Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of UltrasXI podcast. Before we introduce ourselves, I want to keep up this whole momentum with the whole random fact of the day. So, in saying that, you probably know that snails they're pretty slow creatures already. But did you know that they also take the longest naps? One nap could last up to 3 years.
Come on.
Pretty fucking crazy.
That's fucking crazy if you ask me.
Well,
Holy shit.
And on that note, I'm Joe.
And I'm Alex.
We
I like that.
we saw what happened over the week. There's really okay, you guys saw the Champions League fixtures we talked about. We saw why Sevilla is still the Europa League gods. Mm-hmm. We saw Roma do their vintage losing, make it more difficult for themselves. We even saw Pep absolutely dismantle Bayern over two legs and show why he is such a great tactician.
I feel like Roma do these things just to make it a little bit more entertaining for the fans. They want to keep up for the fans.
It's all
keep
about
them,
theater there.
Keep them on their feet.
Yeah. But before we get into anything else, I want to talk about Bayern Munich and their recent run of form. Now, they sacked Nagelsmann because the fear was that they weren't going to be able to complete the treble. They also want to pounce on a guy like Tuchel because, let's get real, Tuchel is a fantastic coach. But you have to stop and just kind of ask yourself, was sacking Nagelsmann this point in the season the right idea?
Honestly, I just think it was. I think we were talking about it when Rosati was on the show that time. I think it was just more, they had that fear of losing that treble, and they just, for once, now in their last 10 years, they were getting, they weren't as dominant as they were before. They would kind of go into games and they can kind of be do half a training session, and you would get a Bayern that's just going to demolish teams.
Yeah.
Now this year, you've seen that their core guys that have been there for years either they left, or you're seeing them start to get older, and you're seeing now just kind of these younger guys come in. And I knew it happens with these dynasties when you're Muller's pretty Muller and Neuer, those are the last dying pieces of that team. Those guys are starting to fade out now. You have these new guys coming up, and Nagelsmann, he was a good coach, and he needs time with this team. This is going to be the new Bayern Munich thing. You need time. You have to invest in younger guys, which they have. Keep bringing in these youth players that he wants, and you build a dynasty with a guy. You don't just get rid of him just because you're scared. Who cares if you lose a treble? Who gives a fuck? You're going to lose sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. It's the reality of it. They should have kept him, and not. For me, they should have. That was a wrong move for them.
Yeah.
That was just a panic thing.
I mean, when you look at it too, Nagelsmann remained undefeated throughout all of Champions League.
Yeah.
He was doing pretty consistent in the league. Now that whole first place guarantee is in jeopardy, and Bayern is now sitting in second place behind Dortmund.
And they're out of the cup now too.
Exactly, and they're out of the cup.
That was their biggest fear, and that came there. Tuchel lost.
But in saying all of this, I know we're kind of harping on whatever, but I just want to. Do you think it's too early to be passing this kind of judgment on Tuchel?
Oh, 100%.
Or is it well deserved?
It's okay. Whatever. What happened happened. He's gone now. Now you brought in Tuchel. Now they just can't react and say, okay, you know what? Let's wait till the end of the season and then move on from him, and we'll bring in another guy. Now they're going to start looking for someone else. Don't do that. Tuchel's a good coach. He's German as well. Keep the guy. Make this guy the guy that's going to be with Bayern Munich for years and years, and build something special there. Not just, you want to do something now, and even if, let's just say, Bayern let the league slip, and then this whole, it was 10 years in a row they won, right? Yeah. So now they don't get the 11th year. It happens, man. Hey, we were on 8 years.
Yeah,
we were hoping for that for 10. It doesn't happen. Teams are gonna want to take you down even harder the longer that streak goes.
Yeah.
Now it's happening to Bayern, and it's at that time where Bayern's finding where, okay, you know what, we got to move on from players. I just think they can't just overreact now and get rid of Tuchel.
Yeah.
Let him grind. Let him build this team, because watching 3 or 4 years, we're going to be talking about Bayern and how scary they are again, and they're just this fucking dominant force again. Yeah. He needs time.
Do you think it would have been different against City if Nagelsmann was still in charge?
Yes.
Or do you think it would,
No, yeah. Because, again, now Tuchel's trying his own ideas, and he's trying to, turn this team into his team. So, obviously, they were playing a different style and a different way with their old coach. So now like you're trying to bring a whole new style in it. And I know he did it before, but hey, you're not always like it's not always gonna happen with Tuchel. Like he did it with Chelsea, okay, yeah, but it's not it's like it's hard. It's hard to do all the time. I don't know, man. Tuchel. I just had a big brain fart. Holy
it's okay,
shit.
It's okay. It's okay. I thought you were gonna carry on, but it's fine.
No, dude, holy shit! I had a big brain fart.
My thing is this: I was reading some of like the post-match comments after a 3-1 defeat Bayern suffered at the hands of Mainz.
Yeah.
How Oliver Kahn said one red team was dominant, and guess what? It wasn't our team. It was Mainz. Then Tuchel came out and he said that his players looked like they were playing in extra time the whole time. I said time a lot there. Wow. It's looked like they've played about 70 or 80 games. So it makes you kind of think, like, are the players actually just tired? Because it is the end of the season.
Yeah.
You know, like, the players have been worked in and stuff like that.
Thing, with the World Cup, too, this year.
Yeah, like, there was a lot of football that was played this year.
Yep.
Or do you think it's a lack of motivation because they had such... I don't know how their relationship was with Nagelsmann, but, you know, a new coach is coming in, and Nagelsmann didn't really do anything wrong, so to say. Like, he didn't lose the dressing room or anything like that. So do you think maybe the players are just lacking like that motivation to play under Tuchel? And it's like that's what their exhaustion looks like?
I genuinely think the players are gassed. From like with the World Cup and like, okay, you obviously know this too. When like experienced players, yeah, okay, they're older compared to, you know, those young guys that are quick and they can, you know, they can run and this, all that, whatever. But an older guy knows how to, you know, conserve his energy, and they know how long a season is. They know the most, like example, Liao's young, but like look at Liao. Guy comes alive at the end of the season, and he's saving games for Milan. Like, I mean, dude, he's showing right there why he's a top player.
Yeah.
With Bayern Munich, I feel like their players, like, you have a lot of young guys and a lot of guys that have never, like, they haven't made those big runs and big pushes season on season on season.
Yeah.
So they're like now, like they're getting, like they're feeling, you know, what it is to be on a top team and go a whole season playing at that intensity throughout the season.
Yeah.
This is their first time now. When Bayern Munich a couple years ago, yeah, okay, they had an older group of players, but they understood how long the season was, and they know, okay, at the end, you know, we gotta, even though if we're dead, we gotta keep pushing because, you know, we could win a Champions League, we can win another league title. Now it's a younger group. I feel like they just don't understand, and like they're not ready yet to go like a full season and commit a team and sacrifice themselves for the team for a whole season.
Yeah. So, on the topic of talking about young talents and stuff like that, there's a trend that's happening right now in Europe. The Italian teams are actually dominating. We have 2 teams in the Champions League. I'm saying we, but like, okay, the Serie A.
Talking as, yes.
Yeah, Serie A has 2
Serie A
teams
fans.
in the Champions League. One of those teams will be guaranteed to be in the Champions League final.
There will be another Italian team in the finals.
Yeah. There's 2 teams in the Europa League, and Juve and Roma, and there's one. And there's one team left in the Conference League, which is Fiorentina.
They've impressed us.
And just so you guys know, I just want to say, like, we're not talking about the revival of Italian football. We're talking about the revival of Serie A.
Yeah.
Italian football talks about something completely different. It's Italian-based players, stuff like that. Serie A is the league itself.
Well, we might need a little bit more time to talk about that.
If we're talking about Italian football, we'll be here forever. But on the topic of Serie A revival, why do you think, in the first place, Serie A took such a massive hit? Like, towards, like, because they're fall from grace. Yeah. Why do you think that happened?
Would like you just mean like for like the last like the years?
Yeah. So
before
like, why
this?
were we in that like banter and like stuff like that? What are some reasons for that? Do you think, at least
after 2006, what happened in Italy and the whole scandals, and everything? Everyone like it tarnished the league. It ruined the league. It was hard to get players to come there. It was a very difficult time for everybody. Yeah, okay. Right after that, you still saw the leftovers of the team that Milan had and Inter had phenomenal teams that they still won a Champions League, and Inter won a Champions League in 2010.
Yeah.
But then after you saw those guys fade and their older guys left the team and they had to kind of rebuild, that's where they struggled. And you saw throughout those years, Juventus, the only team that took advantage of the situation and actually had people with a brain that said, okay, you know what? Like, we got to build something here. We got to take it. Like, right now, teams are struggling to find a team to put together. The owners right now, it's kind of up. That's when Milan was like just looking to sell. Inter was just looking to sell. Juve took advantage of the situation for the 10 years. And unfortunately, the other teams, instead of saying, fuck Juve, like, you know what, let's do the same thing and put something together and try to compete, they just complained and said, yo, you know, they're ruining the league. Look, they're dominating we're not, we're not ruining the league. You guys are ruining the league for being shit.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest issue. Finally, you got people, the right owners that came in, for the most part, that they put together something with these teams, with these big teams. And now you're seeing the effect of that, you know, you give somebody like a good owner a good project and a good team, they can build something in a couple years.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that happen with Inter and Milan, who 2-3 years ago, they haven't touched Europe in the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
And now you're talking one of them's going to be in the finals.
Yeah.
Juve and Roma. Okay, yeah, Juve has had some success, but okay, going to finals or going far in Champions League, not of recently, but now we're kind of finding that hopefully they can make the final and match up with Roma, and you'll see an all-Italian final. Like, now I feel like now, like, the biggest thing was Ronaldo coming to Serie A for me. That right there was a thing that kind of made, I feel like, players and coaches look at Serie A and say, hey, maybe, you know what, maybe it actually is a good league. You know, maybe I could go try it out there. And now you're seeing players go there. Even though the money's not there, everyone knows the money's in the Prem, you're still seeing Serie A attract names that, you know, you would think might choose the Prem over an Italian team. And now I feel like these teams are doing that. The only thing, my biggest fear right now is them staying consistent with it.
Yeah.
Is just because, like, now obviously the money's not there, and you know teams are going to have to sell players to make money and stuff. Like, I don't want to keep bringing up, like, Juve about it, but you saw in those 9 years, every year Juve got rid of somebody, they were able to still hold it up. Last year, Milan didn't even lose anybody, and they can't, like, Napoli dominated the league. Like, okay, I know they're in the Champions League, I know that, but dude, you're the Italian champions. You got to put up a fight.
Yeah, you have to make it a little bit more competitive.
2 years ago, okay, you won. Last year you competed. Now this year, what the fuck happened? You guys just died? Like, you guys got Lukaku back, your savior. You guys lost, you guys lost Hakimi and shit, but still, they should be competing.
Well, some people say, though, actually, like, that happening, like, in Italy having 4 separate winners over 4 years and whatever, is actually something huge. That's crazy. It shows the competitiveness of the league and blah, blah, blah.
But it just, for me, this year was the worst because, for me, Milan just, like, dude, I get it. It's good having multiple champions. Like, it shows, it's different. It's you don't know who's going to win. Everybody's going to want to fight for it because they know there's actually a chance. Yeah. Unlike when Juve was dominating, teams almost were like, okay, at the end of the day, Juve's going to win. Like, why am I going to try?
Yeah.
Now you don't have that. But a team like next year, Napoli, okay, even if you lose Osimhen and whoever else, they still got to compete next. Like, they still got to fight next year right until the end. Even if they don't win it, fight until the end. Like, be top 3. Like, be fighting. Like, not a fucking 17-point gap from second place. Not even from Milan. 17-point gap.
Yeah.
Like, is it really a fight for them?
Yeah.
Like,
so, but, like, do you see the Italian teams actually remaining consistent? Like, is this genuinely a revival of Serie A?
Honestly, I do think so. The next biggest thing for me is the Italian teams, and I mean, it's proving to work with Juve. They have to go into that next gen thing to develop their players, because the next thing, because we can't compete with England, we have to go within and develop our youth. You look at the players that like, dude, Miretti, he's a starter on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Fagioli, he's a starter on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Like these, and Rovella, when he comes back, that like for me, like, he's gonna be a starter.
Yeah.
Like, these are guys that they came up in youth. Now with this whole new thing, with this new next gen, they're proving to be like, look at the they can take that step no problem.
Yeah.
You see teams like Milan, Inter, Roma, Lazio, Napoli start doing this. You're gonna see a lot more Italian.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna get to the point where the Italian national team coach is gonna look there and be like, who the fuck do I choose?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, that's a good problem to have. That's the step that Italian teams are gonna have to take, for me personally, for them to keep competing. Because the guys like Leao and stuff, yeah, they're gonna come, they're gonna help the team, but those are the guys you're gonna make your money on, and then hopefully replace him within, bring in an Italian talent you have from your youth. You're not spending any money. You sell him for 100, you bring up a youth product, you just made 100 million, you didn't spend nothing.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do.
I will agree with you in that regard, that there should be a really large emphasis on the youngsters within Italy, because I do see that being something massive, especially because we don't have the marketing, the TV rights, or anything like that. And we also don't have oil money coming to invest in these clubs. So where else are they going to get money? It could be from playing Champions League and stuff like that, but that's only benefiting 4 teams. You know what I mean? But I will say I do not think this is the revival at all of Serie A.
You don't?
I don't. I think this is a one-off. I think they got lucky with the path that these teams like. You have to look like, okay, the one thing I'll also say, like,
hey, luck plays a part in these competitions, 100%. Man. It always comes. It comes down to your matchup sometimes.
No, I agree. And like Inter got lucky with drawing Benfica. And I'm not discounting Benfica or whatever, but that is a team at Inter's level that they could compete against.
Yeah, that was
Milan
better
drew
than Real or City.
Yeah. Milan drew Spurs. Spurs are a good team on paper, but we saw what the fuck happened to them. You know what I mean? Like,
what was this weekend? 5 goals in the thing?
Yeah, they're in a really bad decline right now, or whatever's going on there.
Not fucking good.
And then to meet up with Napoli, who you already have the luxury of playing twice, and now what they're gonna do.
It's a league team. You know what they are.
For me though, it goes back to just the fact that I don't see next year being. Fast forward to this time next year, we won't have the same thing at all, actually. I don't even think an Italian team will make it to the semis. Now, that's a huge, bold prediction because I don't know what's going to happen in the summertime. But you have to look, the January transfer market in Italy was literally that one guy on Spezia going to Arsenal. And that was the biggest news that came out of Italy. And it goes to show that there's no funds there. There's nothing really special happening. Roma's in financial fair play. We're prohibited from doing X amount, A, B, and C, whatever. And it just shows we will never have the financial power unless we get solid investors in. And it's a sad reality that we need that money. I don't see this helping. It sheds light on Serie A for sure. That there is talent there and whatever. But I think the biggest winners of this whole thing of Serie A, in this year, would strictly go down to the scouts and the development. And that's honestly it. But I don't think it's a sign of, Italian teams are getting so much stronger. No. Well, I don't even think that's it.
But you also have to look at it, too. Right now is everyone's... Dude, at the beginning of the season, people were calling Serie A a farmers league. And Bundesliga and Liga 1 fans saying that, okay? They are the farmers league. And they're saying that. Even, I've heard other Premier League fans say, Serie A, a farmers league, whatever. You're seeing in this era of a farmers league... were 5 teams in all European finals. 2 years ago, Italy won a European championship.
Yeah.
There is something going in Italy. All they're missing, like you said, is the investors. For me personally, I know Roma is going with the financial fair play. Inter has no money. Milan has no money. Juve has no money. It's only a matter of time, Joe. There's so much attention now going towards Italy that they're up and coming. They're good. The league's good. It's going to get better. Investors are going to start looking at Serie A. That's what I think. Investors are going to start looking over there in Serie A. You're going to see TV rights start coming in, and the league is going to start growing. There's going to be money that's going to start coming into the league, like how when you win the league or if you get promoted, you're going to be getting a significant amount of money that you'll be able to grow your team.
I agree. It's definitely great for viewership and everybody. Now it's shedding light, and I'll 100% agree with that. But the problem that that Italy has had, I wouldn't even say it's a matter of the talent or whatever being there. We all know the teams are there, the abilities there and stuff like that. It's literally the systems they have in place and the pettiness of owners and even the board of directors of the league itself. JP Morgan came in with a $750 million to $1 billion in investments in marketing and shit that. And what did the FIG board of directors say? No, we don't need the money. No, you do need the money. You need to grow your league, and you're not doing that. And then you have the pettiness of the individual directors that Ilitari and Claudio Lotito, their only goal is to do better than Roma.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't care for the Conference League because we're ahead of Roma in the league. Oh, we beat Roma. That's like winning the Champions League. Yeah, that's great to have these rivalries, and I agree it adds excitement within the league.
That shouldn't be like
you should be trying to thrive in every
we beat Roma,
single
so we're good.
competition. Yeah,
we're good for the year. We don't need to do anything else.
At the end of the day, let's say Lazio finishes above Roma this year, which could happen, which might even happen. But Roma wins the Europa League. That is a larger step, and that is something that the league needs itself to grow. Not fucking competing and just worrying about these other guys. Inter, Napoli, all these guys, all they want to do is beat Juve. Oh, we beat Juve. There's our Scudetto. No,
Literally.
and to me that's where it fails Italy, because it's the pettiness of these other owners that like
they won't
keep
put rivalries aside. They won't put it aside for the better good of like the actual league and the team.
Why do you think England's doing so well? You actually think
they have rivalries.
They have rivalries.
They have
the teams hate each other.
But at the end of the day, they know, hey, you know, we're going to be able to function the way we are and live this luxury. But we have to stick together and group together and be on the same page.
The owners all banded together to actually sell a brand, not a league or whatever, a brand. Now the Prem is a household name. If you don't know anything about football, you will be able to list 5 Prem teams. You will not even know a Serie A team.
Yeah.
You maybe heard of Milan because they had a past, you know, like, or history. You maybe heard of Juve, but you don't hear about that nowadays. Nottingham Forest gets more recognition globally.
That's true.
Bournemouth was able to spend triple the amount Italy spent in the January transfer market. And like, to me, that's like why the system itself is failing. And until that system is revamped, you will not see the revival of Serie A, because no matter how well they do in Europe, no matter how much they're competing, the consistency will not be there.
No.
And that's like, to me, I hate saying that, because all I really do want is the league to do well, players to grow, get some light, stop being this farmers league, all that stuff. I would love that. But until some stuff changes, until we get some sort of modern day solutions, I don't see that happening with Italy. And it's a shame, but that's the way it's going to be to me.
Nah, I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think like this is what they're doing now is already pretty special. It just depends. Like it depends on a lot of ifs, because it could go either way. But I do think like this is gonna help like bring attention to Serie A, and it's gonna attract investors. Now it just depends on
the
if
reaction.
If the league just finally says, okay, you know what? Yeah, you know what? We do need money. We do need investors. We need we need to market ourselves better, because right now we're gonna slowly fucking die out of here, and we are clearly good enough to compete against these teams. Like,
you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, though.
Yeah.
See, that's I see. We're both saying the same things, but we're just disagreeing, because I've lost hope already.
Yeah, I still got a little bit of hope.
I also support Roma, so they contribute to stuff like that.
You always gives me hope. So I feel like I just have hope in general
that's
with everything.
why, like, you're saying you could see it happening. I'm gonna say I don't see that happening. You know, like, again, though, like, I'm not discounting what's happening. This is truly a special thing for Italian football. Yeah. The last time you saw some sort of European dominance from the Italian teams was in 1990, from Milan, Juve, and Sampdoria, when they won every continental trophy. If that happens again this year, like, don't get me wrong, that's fucking special. That's actually crazy to me. But I think about what happens next. What's the next step? And will there be a positive reaction, or will there be no reaction at all? And I'm saying no reaction. But
it's good. It's good to see from all the teams. You know, like in the last couple of years, like you've seen individually, like you've seen Juve go to like the final twice. You've seen Inter go to the Europa League final before, like the couple of years ago. You saw Roma go to the Conference League and win the fucking first Conference League.
Roma is amongst elite company.
You've had these guys, like these teams, make the run, but you've never had the league like so dominant.
Yeah,
in all the European competitions and keep going through. Like usually, I remember like, dude, how many times it was like Juve would make it out of the first, like the group stage. Roma and Napoli both kicked out to they go to Europa League.
Not true.
Yeah,
we always made it.
No,
we always made it.
Okay, you guys made it to the quarters or the round of 16 and then kicked out.
We have made it to the semifinals of European competition since 2017, 2018, buddy.
Nice.
But crazy stat, only other team to do that, Real Madrid.
Nice.
Basically, Roma and Real Madrid are the same team. I don't know. But enough about Serie A and our whatever. I would like to enter in our little pin pad over here. The garage is opening, I think, Al. All right, garage talk. Sorry.
Let me turn the light on.
Yeah, you can't see us. So garage talk today. Spurs fucking suck.
They fucking suck.
And
I don't know why. I don't know why I ever had faith. I think Conte gave me so much faith.
I want Sano on my left right now.
I believe.
And I'm gonna tell you guys, what did I say? This is when he gets exposed. And you know what?
He didn't get exposed. He fucking left.
I'm not even actually blame Conte this
I
time.
don't blame Conte.
As much as I would love to fucking blame
the
him.
team. No, the team just lies to the coaches. They go, yeah, don't worry, we do it, no problem. We do this, we do that, whatever. The team's not going to change, no matter who they won't sign exactly who they want. Like, hey, okay, we'll get this guy instead, and the mentality is not going to change with those fucking players.
My thing is honestly this: like you get railed 6-1 within 20 minutes, your game was done. You can't blame Christian Stellini because no offense,
man.
who the fuck is that guy? You can't blame Conte because he has proven himself.
Yeah.
So like Chiellini said, it's the history of the Tottenham. You know, like it's the mentality of these players. Romero, he came back from Argentina. He won a World Cup. You would think that would light a fire under his ass. He was looking like one of the best center backs, top 5 in the world type of thing.
That team, man. You're not like,
and now
you're
he's
not gonna
bang average and shit.
It's because of the team.
Well, that's the thing.
You're the guy that they fucking play for, and is the key part to the team. Is a guy that just cares about individual trophies. Where the fuck are you gonna go with that?
My thing is this: you have had now 2 coaches back to back that were just pure serial winners. You had Conte, who every league he touches, he ends up winning that league.
Mm-hmm.
You had Mourinho, one of the most highly decorated coaches ever, and he's working wonders with Roma. People would argue against it, but regardless, like he's winning trophies still.
Look at it, he's still doing good.
He's
man.
still
He's top 3.
you know, he's won a trophy
year.
like
Something that hasn't happened in like since the Coliseum was still in use.
So my thing is this: you have all these crazy sick coaches. They're clearly not the problem because they're leaving and saying the exact same things. Yeah. You had Harry Kane literally come out and said the reason why Mourinho didn't work is because the mentality of the players, we couldn't get on with his mentality as well.
Yeah.
So is there anything besides Jesus and God that will help Tottenham out?
If there's any 2 coaches that can sell an idea to a team and make them believe anything is possible, it's Conte and Mourinho. And both of them were not able to get through. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Tottenham, it's you're gonna see them finally maybe win something. Is like they bring in a guy that just like I don't even know, man. Maybe like a guy like a De Zerbi that you give him time and you grow. And but the main thing you have to do with that team is sell Harry Kane, sell these guys that have been with the team and they're just fucking they're fucking hogwash.
Yeah,
you get rid of them,
hogwash,
and you build. You look at youth. You have money to spend. You start spending some money. You bring in a team to build around, and you let a coach grow that team. This team now, you're not like it's never gonna happen. Sell Son, sell Kane, like they're phenomenal players. Kane, I have my own thing about him, but like they have good players that they can sell on this team. Sell it, get that money, use that money, reinvest, bring in a coach that has a vision, a project, and you let him do it. Like take the banter, take whatever for a couple of years, and do something
Project
with that.
Zero type shit.
Exactly.
Build from the ground up. Like start over.
You're not at that level now. You already have no trophies. What's another couple of years gonna do? Like,
see, I think for me, and I'm usually never one to say something like this because I always think like owners could only do so much, blah blah blah, and whatever. But I would actually look at you and say, Daniel Levy, whatever, has to actually
like leave. Yeah, I would agree with that
because like you saw with the Glaziers with Arsenal, or sorry, not the Glaziers with Arsenal, the Glaziers with United. They're looking to sell. They realize they hit their point. That their dynasty is done. No matter how much you're trying to throw in. You saw with Arsenal and their owners. Now they're finally seeing some like results, whatever. But Arsenal accepted the fact that they had to start from the ground up. We'll get not an amateur coach, but we'll get a guy that we're gonna build a project with, whatever, in Arteta. And like now it's starting to pay off. Whether they win the league or not, it was still a very impressive campaign from Arsenal.
Run, man.
Like he got them back in Champions League, and that's a huge thing. With Spurs, it's like they get a coach and they demand the results right away. The owner is literally...
We have the players.
Yeah.
Do something.
The owner's like, oh, yeah, you want Perisic? Yeah, I'll get you Perisic. I'll get you Pedro Porro. But you know what? I want to get somebody that I like to. Jed Spence. Come. Brother was loaned out right away to Stade Rennais. Like, he didn't even fit in Conte's plan. And Daniel Levy is just not a good owner. Maybe for a smaller club, mid-table club, whatever. Okay, fine. But Spurs have aspirations of winning something.
I never liked him as an owner. Like he's just like the guy when he talks, he's just a fucking idiot, man.
Even when I was watching that the Tottenham Hotspur documentary on Amazon Prime. But he actually is just an idiot. Yeah. He genuinely has zero knowledge about he's just a rich prick. No, and that's all he is, and just cares about the bank statement at the end of it all.
Tottenham has to do what everybody else does and just sell to the Saudis. Let them cook. They'll bring in someone that's going to take you buy the team.
Yeah.
Don't just they'll tell us how much we have to pay. We pay.
But that's it. I don't even see him doing that because he's arrogant.
That's the thing. He's arrogant. He probably won't for a while until it gets to the point. I feel like with the Glazers, how they're literally. Fans are chanting get the fuck out of the club. Yeah. They're at the game all watching. Yeah. Fans are literally staring at them get the fuck out of the club.
Yeah, they literally have a banner up saying Glazers out, and it's been up for some time now.
They're not hiding it from them. They're making it very well known that hey, get the fuck out of our club. We don't want you here. Your time's done. Thank you for everything, but go fuck yourself.
Spurs are kind of pulling a Maple Leaf story over here.
Dude, I don't even want to say that, man. Spurs not even that good. They fucking suck.
But that's the thing, I keep on going back. You look at the history of the players they've had of recent time. You look at their team, even right now on paper, as much as anyone will like to say.
They should have won something.
It's a team very capable of doing something.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Something.
They're capable of winning a trophy.
Yeah,
it's not like they're a bad team. It's just the mentality, man. They just...
And that's the one problem I noticed when these players once you go to the Prem, you feel like your career's already set because the amount of money you're making.
Oh yeah. And that changes players.
And you could see it with the Spurs. The Spurs throw lucrative contracts at these players, no matter who it is, even a bang average guy. Pedro Porro was probably getting
two
paid.
Good games. Okay,
yeah,
let's overpay.
They just bought Pedro Porro, and I didn't look into this, so I'm just throwing a random number out there. But I could almost guarantee he's getting paid $8+ million a year.
Oh yeah, easy.
I could guarantee that, and I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's a good player, but he is definitely not worth that amount. And if you saw him go to a team in Serie A, he would be getting paid $3, $4, $5 million.
Oh, at the most. Easy.
Joao Cancelo on Juve and Inter. Inter literally said, "You want more than $3 million? You're not worth it. Leave." Yeah. Juve, same thing. You have a bit of an attitude and you want $10 million? No, see you later. Get out of here. Good player, but whatever. You can't give these guys are paid.
Yeah.
Very handsomely, and they're still shitting the bed and just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't care to play. They don't care when they make mistakes. And that again, Joao was that player there, and I hated it because I loved him because he was so good in the attack, but he was a liability, and I hated losing him. But it was also it was beneficial because you brought a guy like Danilo who actually knows how to defend, not as good as an attacker, but he knows how to defend, and I feel a lot safer having a guy like that.
He fits more into a system than whatever.
Guys like Joao, they just, and I feel like Tottenham has a lot of those kind of players that they demand things, and they think that they're bigger than the club. They think that they're bigger than the coach who's there. They have hard heads. Dude, if like I said, if Conte and Mourinho can't get through to them, Jesus isn't getting through to them.
My biggest thing is too, you look at Dele Alli. Dele Alli was supposed to become a world beater, a fucking world. Sir Alex Ferguson was saying how badly he wanted him. All these coaches praised Dele Alli, how he was so modernized, this, that, whatever. What happened to him? Dude, he gets booed in Turkey now. He's not even a thing. He just doesn't care anymore.
It's so bad, man.
He had 2-3 good seasons.
Yeah.
And he got
he was supposed to be rated. He was rated he was supposed to be the next big.
That's what I mean.
Englishman,
Kane, then Dele Alli feeding him, then this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And what did he turn him? Nothing. Just like Harry Kane.
They just can't hack him, man. Harry Kane is saving grace. He's fucking tapping merchant. He just keeps scoring. And but he sucked. Oh yeah, but he scored. He has the most goals in the Prem history. Oh, but he has the most goals in England. And, dude, shut up. He fucking sucks.
That's I don't know, man.
He cannot do anything. He's proven that with Tottenham. Proven that with England.
There's nothing Spurs could do, I think, until they literally revamp the whole board of directors, everything. Even if Daniel Levy stays. If he does what that guy on Inter did for a while, Marotti, whatever his name is, that crooked.
He sells the club, but stays on.
He stays on as a president of sorts. That he's just there, or whatever. Like Levy, buddy, invest your money, do whatever the fuck you want, but stay in the back. Don't do anything. You suck.
You chill. Exactly. You chill. You stay. Don't worry. You can still be a part of the discussions and all that, but you don't own the club anymore. It's not your fucking club.
Yeah,
that's what they need to get.
I think they just. Nothing will save them. Not a player. Give them Haaland. He won't score anymore. He turned into shit.
Yeah.
Give them Sergio Ramos and Varane in their prime. They're not going to do shit. Lodi, rewind the years on him, and he's still not going to do shit.
What if you give them Messi?
Nah, still nothing.
Really?
Still nothing. His career would be over. There's nothing that could save them.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like Neymar going to Chelsea right now. Why? That rumor. There's no reason.
I feel like that could be a good move for him. I feel like that could kind of revamp him. He needs him, man. That whole like playing with Mbappe fucked him up. He needs to be the guy.
I told you,
man.
dude.
He needs to be
first
that
off,
guy.
there's no Champions League football for Chelsea next year. Do you actually see Neymar saying, "Yeah, brother, I'm there for vibes"? Yeah. He'll play 10 games out of the 38-game season, and that's it.
I think he'll play.
Nah,
he'll play. He'll play a bit.
The physicality will crush him. He's already injury plagued.
I think half
one
his
tackle, see you later.
injury he gets with PSG, he fucking fakes it, man.
That
I don't
is
think
a
he
good
wants to be
point
there
too.
anymore.
Actually, I always think about that. Like, is he just doing it because he doesn't give a fuck for
you hear
PSG?
these stories of like older players and like you hear stuff like that. They like players have done that before. Like they faked injuries because they didn't want to play or they whatever. Like, dude, how do you know he's not doing that because he doesn't want to be there anymore?
That is a good point.
Like, it's a joke of a fucking team.
That is a good point.
He wasn't the same after Brazil lost in the World Cup. He thought it was going to be their year. He just wanted the season to be over with. Wants a fresh start next year.
Just another man living in Ronaldinho's shadow.
Yeah, exactly. You know? He's never going to reach that level. But some people will fight you that Neymar is better than Ronaldinho.
Never. Nobody will ever touch that god.
I don't know. I never want to meet those kind of people.
But on that note, guys,
I think we're going to end things off here.
Yeah, we're done. Garage is closed. I don't know if you saw us. Yeah.
If you guys haven't already, don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at UltrasXI.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
I know, Joe.
Did we get a message from our sponsors?
No. I was just about to get to that. So if you guys haven't followed us on that yet, at UltrasXI. And quickly, a message from our sponsors, UltrasXI.com.
Wow.
UltrasXI shop. Go visit it now. The GOAT series. It's out now. If you're a GOAT, then go buy a GOAT series shirt.
It's true, you should.
It's only fitting. Come on. What are you doing out here? And guys, thank you for listening. We'll hear you next week. We'll see you next week.
We'll hear you next week.
Ciao.